What if I told you that you could create a Google Ads campaign directly from ChatGPT or Claude? You don't need to create specific workflows or build any AI agents. You could create a campaign, get a report, clean your search terms right from Claude or ChatGPT. It's actually possible today using Markifact MCP. You can plug your Google Ads and Meta account right in your Claude or ChatGPT account using the Markifact MCP. It does the bridge between your LLM and your ad platform. MCP servers are just like USB keys that you can plug into your ChatGPT or Claude, so they can access external tools like Meta or Google Ads. Markifact created their new MCP server. It means that you can connect your ChatGPT or Claude account directly to Markifact MCP server, so your ChatGPT or Claude can access all of your accounts that you have connected. For example, Google Ads, Google Analytics, or Meta. MCPs have been there since a couple of months already. Google Ads or Meta didn't release any MCP, and a few people created MCP servers to be able to connect your account to LLM, but those were not always secured. You didn't know who built them, and there could be some security issue. What's great with Markifact MCP is that you get all the authentication and security that you have in Markifact connected directly to your LLM. Markifact MCP is actually doing the bridge between your ChatGPT or Claude and your Google Ads and Meta account, with all the security and authentication built in Markifact. Now let's connect Markifact to Claude using the MCP. First, go to the MCP tab, and from there you can create a new MCP server. For the example, we are going to name it Claude. Once the connection is created, you need to go into Claude. If you want the full explanation, you can click here and you have the full explanation on how to do it. You need to go to Claude, click on the little plus in the chat, and go to connectors, manage connectors. This is the place where you will be able to add a new connector and to add Markifact. You see here, I have a bunch of connectors already. I can add a new one by clicking the plus, and I want to add a custom connector. You see that Claude is asking me for a name, so let's call it Markifact MCP server, and a remote MCP URL. This is how Claude is going to be able to connect to Markifact. If you go back into Markifact to the MCP we just created, you see here that we have what's called an MCP endpoint. It's the URL where the tools are going to connect if you wish. And you paste the URL of the server. You don't need to go to advanced setting or whatever at the moment. The server is now added to your Claude account, but it's not working yet. There is a very important step. You need to click on the MCP and click on connect. This is how the MCP is going to be logged in your Markifact account. Once you connect, you are going to land on that specific page to authorize the MCP access to Claude. So you need to authorize. Authorization is successful, so now your Markifact account is connected to Claude. So if we go back into Claude, you can see now that the Markifact MCP server is actually connected right there. So once you're in Claude, you can just start a new chat, and you can click here to see that your connector Markifact is actually active. So you can directly start querying it. So use Markifact MCP server and give me the total spend of my Google Ads account named GA4 Auditor. Thanks to the MCP server, your Claude desktop is going to be able to connect with Markifact and get the information from Markifact. So Claude is not connecting directly to Google Ads, okay? It's connecting to Google Ads through Markifact. Okay, it's using your Markifact account, so it's secure. It's not a random MCP coming from GitHub or whatever. So you can see that Claude is working. It's trying to get information that we ask, running the operation, but everything runs from your own Claude account. So it found the account and it's fetching the data right now. You can click the process and you can see what the MCP is actually doing, okay? And you can even see all the queries that are made. So Claude finished working and he's been checking the account GA4 Auditor Google Ads, so he found the correct account and the spend is 0 over the last 30 days. So I will ask him, can you check for the past 5 years? And you see that Claude understands that it needs to run another operation and changing the date. And you can see here now, okay, for the past 5 years, you have roughly 10K of spend. So this is how you can connect quickly Markifact MCP to Claude Desktop, and you can use Claude Desktop to chat with your account. Okay, now that the MCP server is live and running and connected, we will set up a campaign from Claude. First step, we will just ask the MCP server to confirm he has access to the account and then give him the different steps to start building the campaign. Okay, so we'll use the Markifact MCP server. We will work on the Google Ads account named GA4 Auditor. We need to create a full search campaign. So I need you to do a keyword research for our client that is a roofing company in London. I need you to sort those keywords by themes, and I need you to write responsive search ads for those different ad sets, ad groups. I need you to show me the keyword research and the ads so I can validate before you push everything into the account. We will start with this and see what Claude come up with. So you see here first, it's looking to different accounts, see if you can have access to that specific account, and start checking what it can do to create a campaign. It found the account, that's perfect, so it's now going to check the ad operation available to create a campaign. It's now looking on how to make the keyword research, the structure, and the RSAs. All right, Claude finished working. So he gave me a bit of information. So it's going to create 6 different ad groups, like general roofers, repairs, replacement, flat roof, emergency. That makes a lot of sense. Give us an example of keywords that he wants to put into the campaign. Also makes sense. And then some headlines and description for the responsive search ads. Okay, that's okay-ish. Here is the scope, so everything's prepared. You may want to adjust the final URL. Okay. And then just from here, I can approve and push. I could mention to Claude, okay, now I need you to modify those headlines, or I need you to add more keywords, or give me other keywords to other ad groups because I have some IDs. So you can click right there and you see different keywords. But just for the sake of the example, I'm just going to push it as is. So I will approve and push to Google Ads. So it's going to create a campaign for me in Google Ads. So Claude is going step by step. First, it's creating the search campaign. Inside the search campaign, it's creating the different ad groups. Now it's adding keywords inside the ad groups. All the keywords have been added to the campaign. Now it's creating the responsive search ads. So you can see that Claude is actually self-correcting. He mentioned that a couple of descriptions were over 90 characters. It's now trimming them and resubmitting. So he's pushing stuff to Google Ads, and if you see any mistakes, he's going to try and fix by itself. So there we go. Everything is live into the account in post status. So let's go and check into the account. So you see in a couple of minutes, it was able to create a campaign. There we go. Search roofing London. And you can see the different ad groups with the correct keywords inside and the according RSAs. So you just need to check and finalize the ads. So it's not perfect indeed. We should have checked for negative keywords, extra settings, ad extension, but you can do everything from Claude. So for example, now if I want to add some ad extension, I can ask Claude, okay, all good. Now I would like you to create callouts, site links, and structure snippet for my campaign. I don't have to do it manually. I can ask Claude to do it for me. All right, so Claude understood our request, and now it's writing the callouts and all the extension and pushing them into the account, the exact same way it did for the keywords and the RSAs. Claude finished working, all the extensions are added into my account. So this is how you can quickly set up campaign and manage campaign using Claude Desktop. You just chat with Claude, and Markifact will do the bridge between Claude and your Google Ads account. And just like this, you are able to manage your Google Ad or Meta account right from ChatGPT or Claude. As you could see, you could create a campaign, make a keyword research, write ad copies, and you can also pull reports, do the negative keywords. Every task that you do on a Google Ad account or a Meta account, you can do it through Markifact. And because you can do it through Markifact, you can now do it through your own ChatGPT and Claude, thanks to the Markifact MCP server. So thanks for watching the video. Let us know if you managed to connect your Markifact account to ChatGPT and Claude, and let us know your best use case. As I always say, happy automating. I see you in the next one.